no one else sees you the way that you imagine they see you. Probably everyone else in your life thinks that you're marvelous and you're wonderful. And I find it really helpful to just remind myself that if I'm feeling, nervous or unconfident, they only know what you're putting out into the world. So if I just sort of pretend to be a confident person, that's who they think I am. Everyone has that to a greater or lesser extent. And probably, however kind of nervous or unconfident you're feeling, remind yourself of all the people in your life that probably look up to you and think that you're a complete badass, owning life and, achieving it all. There'll be so many people that perceive you in that way. And it's mainly just you who perceives yourself as less than or not quite good enough or still striving. Everyone's on a journey. Everyone has a huge amount of pathway still to tread. Everyone's learning, everyone's messing up and failing. So that voice will never go away, but you will hopefully learn to manage it a bit better. I'm Kelsey Traher. I'm Chief Operating Officer of Marvel. We're a design, prototyping, user testing, and collaboration platform based in London, and I've been doing that for the past 5 years. I'm also co-founder of a community called COO Stories, which is for other chief operating officers of tech companies in London. And I'm also co-founder of Mentor Stories, which is a mentorship scheme to help operations professionals in their careers connect with mentors. I think when I first became a leader, I had a particular idea in my head about what a leader does and says and like how they should act. And I don't really know how it happened. I think just time, but it took me a little while to realize that it's not a template. It's about finding your own leadership style. And I guess I found that a little bit hard at the start. And maybe to begin with, I wasn't really being myself because I was kind of being copying what other leaders do. I remember I worked with someone who was a fantastic CEO, but they were very sort of harsh on their teams. And so I sort of modeled that when I first came into leadership myself. And now that's not my style at all because it didn't really feel right. And so I've sort of relaxed into it a bit more. And I feel a lot more comfortable to be myself now. And that was hard, but I also don't exactly know how it happened other than just time passed and many experiences that taught me various things along the way took place. And now I feel a lot more okay about being a kind leader and being understanding and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Whereas when I first started out, I was copying someone else's style. I think one of the keys to good leadership or being a good leader is gaining the trust of the people that you work with and really putting in the time to build that, build a proper connection and a relationship. Because once you have that, it's a lot more likely that someone will want to follow your guidance or even your example, and they'll kind of want to follow you. And that's kind of half the battle, I think. But the other thing I think is really important is to be yourself and to be authentic and vulnerable. One of the things I like a lot more about working in smaller companies or tech, I guess, is that you are encouraged to be yourself. And when I was working in a corporate, it was a lot more you're encouraged to be a representative of the company and to act and dress and look and speak a certain way. And that felt a little bit inauthentic to me. And so I absolutely love just being myself and, owning mistakes and being humble about achievements. And I think that's a really important part of good leadership as well, because people see that you're human and that you're trying your best and, really want to do their best for you as well. I don't know, there's a lot that needs to happen to build that equity that we so need. I think men, women, leaders, anyone with any authority of any kind should do more to proactively give women with high potential kind of encouragement, mentorship, and legs up in life. So really encourage them to get comfortable putting themselves forward for things and being outside their comfort zone and kind of quietening sort of encouraging women to quiet the voices that sort of say, oh, that didn't feel good, or I messed up there, let me go back to trying to be perfect. Because the best learning happens when you do fall flat on your face, or when something doesn't go perfectly right. Getting outside your comfort zone is such an important part of almost like it's like fear exposure. You have to sort of repeatedly kind of do a sort of semi-okay job, or even fail a few times before you can kind of achieve. So it is a sort of painful cycle to go through. And I think women with high potential should just be encouraged to embrace that process and to put themselves forward for things, even if they're nervous or scared, or the voices in their head are telling them that it would be better off if they just sort of were happy with where they are now. If you know that there is a particular thing that really scares you, that maybe makes your heart race, or you've had feedback that, you've got, let's say your body language makes you come across as more nervous than you really are. If you've got something that is something you'd like to make into more of a strength, then you can be really targeted about going after that. So let's say it's public speaking that terrifies you, and that that's going to be a really important part of your journey as a leader, to be able to stand up in front of a group of people. Well, look for opportunities to do it. So whatever it is in your life, you can actually be really targeted about making that into a strength. You could do an improv course, or you could get some coaching from someone who knows about body language, or whatever it might be. And you can turn that from something that terrifies you into something that just feels uncomfortable. And that's like a great leap forward. And that even though it might not be your favorite thing on earth, you will be able to do it without that kind of fear that is holding you in place at the moment.